Hello everyone, mga katribo. I'm Francine Marquez and today in the house is our special co-host.
Special.
Pachola Concepcion.
Hello folks, katribo.
Oh, yeah, and this is PairFect.
Perfect.
Yeah, Dina is in a meeting right now. So
We're minding the store.
yeah, we just yanked you away from the desk to join us. Thanks, Poch. Oh,
All right.
Yeah, how are you?
Okay.
Good.
Feeling good.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's the time of the week, hump day. Madaming gawain.
Guide. Sino bang guest natin ngayon?
Ang guest natin ngayon are two people, a couple, who talk about heart, tungkol sa puso, but it's not the hugot kind of puso. It's really more of health, heart health, which is what we need right now, di ba? Kasi medyo nag-spike yung number of cases ulit. Kailangan natin mag-ingat sa not just siguro yung immune system natin, pero yung cardio health din natin. So, without further ado, let's welcome a couple who are very active in promoting cardio wellness. And one of them, the husband, is the current president of the Philippine Heart Association. So let's welcome them, Dr. Orlando and Maricar Bugarin. Hello, Doctor and Doktora. Welcome to the show. Kamusta kayo?
Good afternoon.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you for making it. Well, as always, we'll have to ask you our popular question. So, how has 2021 been so far for you, work-wise and personally?
Yeah.
Doctor?
Work-wise, yeah, slowly we're going back. No, the patients are coming back to the clinics. No, medyo lumalakas na po yung loob nila. Nagpupunta na rin po sila. At first, takot po talaga sila pumunta to have their checkups. No, so we really have to work online. Pero lately, nga, nagbabalik sila nga lang itong surge, no? Nababalitaan natin ulit itong surge or yung ating second wave or third wave of the COVID virus infection. So, nag-create na naman ng fear. But so far, nakaset up naman po, we're doing our face-to-face clinic, both of us, as pediatrician and as cardiologist. So, ang patients namin are both kids and adults, no? So, na-encourage naman din namin sila na kahit paano magpunta na sa clinic. No? Personally, challenging talaga since 2020 with the lockdown. No? Up to now, it's really challenging for us with regards to having all the restrictions, nasanay na lumalabas, going around with the family. And ngayon, medyo na-limit yon. No? We just have to go to work, then go home. But there are some advantages to that naman.
Yes, actually, as a pediatrician, nung nag-start kami ng clinic nung May, kasi actually after the lockdown in March, we stopped having our clinic for 2 months. So, nung nag-resume kami ng clinic, like ako ng clinic nung May, usually lahat na nakikita ko, they're just well baby. We just update the vaccines. Wala talaga masyadong may sakit. But recently, right now, marami na lumalabas. And then sabi nga ni Orly, medyo yung mga tao hindi sila ganun katakot. Usually kasi before, kahit may mga ubusipon, titisin nila yan. Or usually, magte-text lang yan, mag-messenger, teleconsult. But right now, yung mga tao, they're going outside na. So, of course, with the strict protocol, so we're seeing patients already in the clinic, both well and sick patients. Well, personally, I think we're coping up. Unlike last year na talagang yung fear, yung anxiety, yung uncertainty, still it's there, it's here in 2021. But I think with our experiences before, I think mas ano tayo, better, much better than last year. Na talagang total lockdown.
So, Doktora, nasa Bataan ba kayo ngayon?
Yes, Balanga.
Yeah. This is the province ni Dr.
Yeah, my hometown.
Naiuwi niya po ako.
Pwede.
I want to ask both, or Doc Orly first, how is the heart related to COVID-19? Or have you encountered your patients complaining that you referred na symptoms of COVID-19?
Sir Poch, no, the symptoms is very similar Kaya doon kami nagkaka-problem because COVID symptoms is similar to symptoms ng may mga heart problem. Shortness of breath, difficulty breathing, weakness, no? So madalis isip, fatigability. These are symptoms na iniisip natin na pwedeng heart or pwedeng COVID. So nagkaroon ng problem initially with the patients who are may mga sakit na sa puso, but then they have their hesitations to go to the clinic or to the hospital. No, kasi pagpunta nila sa hospital, natatag sila as COVID patients, no? So ma-isolate sila or will have to undergo all the tests to rule out COVID. So yun yung nagiging problem noon. Also with the COVID infection, we all know that patients with heart diseases are vulnerable, no? Hindi sila madaling magkaroon ng COVID, pero once na hindi natin sinasabing madali silang magka-COVID, but once they contract the disease or the infection, sila yung mas nagkakaroon ng worse outcome, no? Pangit yung kinalalabasan talaga if they contract the COVID infection. Of course, with the failing heart, with the weak heart, tapos papasok pa yung infection that will affect the lungs, no? It will be a burden to the heart. So talagang mabigat. It will be a burden both not just for the lungs but also for the heart. So ito yung mga nakikita natin na mataas ang mortality, no? Yung mga patients natin na nagkakaroon ng COVID on top of having a heart disease.
Magiging komplikado. Oo. What about doktora, yung mga bata na kumukonsulta sa'yo, anong so far ang na-encounter mo na bagabag?
Yeah.
O
With regards to the pediatric patients, medyo hindi ganun ka-morbid or hindi ganun ka-delikado. Actually, that's why talaga yung COVID talagang for the elderly, medyo delikado siya for the adults with comorbidities. But with kids, of course, they can still have COVID. Nahahawa din kasi. So this is just like a flu, a virus. So, pero right now, hindi ganun kataas yung cases and mortality and morbidity ng mga batang may COVID. But nung nagsistart kami nung practice, when we go back to the practice, kasi syempre, bago COVID is new. Wala talagang may alam. No? So, it's a new disease. So, marami kami mga cases before na non-COVID ang presentation, but it turned out they're COVID. Like, may mga patients kami early on na ang presentation appendicitis, and then when we swab, they're COVID positive. Dengue patients also presents with COVID. So, but compared also to the adult population, hindi siya ganun ka-morbid.
So you're staying in Bataan right now, no? And you're seeing some of your patients online, di ba ho? Would you say na mas busy pa kayo ngayon compared to last year, especially with more people probably getting unhealthy because of the lifestyle of quarantining at home, yung mga ganyan? Parang mas busy ba kayo ngayon seeing patients with their concerns, with their medical concerns?
Actually, Ma'am Francine, it boiled down to the limitation ng ating mga kababayan to have access to medical facilities, no? Or access to their doctors and access to medicines kasi na-limit sila, hindi sila makalabas. So sometimes they have to take on having to stay at home without having to see their doctors for a while, no? Nauubos yung kanilang gamot, na-discontinue na nila because wala silang access to medicines, hindi sila makalabas to buy. Also with the hospitals, no? Takot sila na pumunta. So tinitis nila yun sa bahay. So when they go to the clinic, it's medyo serious na, no? The serious stage sila kasi napabayaan, no? So we're doing online consultation initially, but then it's really difficult, no? Mahirap talaga mag-treat and to give advice or send prescriptions na you don't see the patient. It's really challenging, no? But we have to do that initially. But we really try to have a face-to-face clinic kasi iba pa rin po yung napapakinggan mo sila. We do the physical examinations, no? Kaysa yung you just ask them questions. And at the same time, we're happy, with the technology nga po that really the pharmaceutical companies, the drugstores did some actions about this. They act on it that they can deliver the medicines so that the patients who are afraid to go out can have access to their maintenance medications. Dumami po talaga yung cases or minsan morbid ang presentation when they come to you.
Yes, to add to that, sa mga PHA patients naman, napakahirap po talaga nilang i-check. Especially kung mga months old na, hindi sila makapagsalita. So, ang hirap for our part to do online consultation. Initially, yung sa hospital where we are affiliated, we did the free online consultation, I think for 2 months. So it's free. We just divide the hours amongst us. Pero actually napakahirap po talaga ng pag-communicate and then ang follow up. So nung nagkaroon na kami ng chance na like after 2 months na medyo hindi na ganun kami katakot, actually medyo kami yung may mga hesitations we slowly start going out and then we accommodate few patients, of course with strict protocols. What's good with the technology right now is we can have like online appointments prior to seeing the patients face to face. So through the platform, we can get the history, assess the patients, if we can see them outpatient or diretso na po sila sa ER. Kasi may mga triage, we do triaging. So pag may fever, pag may ganito, sometimes we don't see them in the clinic na diretso na sila sa ER. So with the new technologies like Messenger, Facebook, we can do that, the scheduling and assessing patient even through online.
The health profession is sort of like on center stage now or nakafocus, no? There was a time na before COVID, hanggat makakaiwas, wag mo na sa doktor, di ba? Mga takot sa ano. But right now, you're the most important people in the world. But I want to ask both of you, how did your journey as doctors start? There have been articles that I've read that si Dr. Orly wanted to be a doctor because of his father. Kwento mo nga, Doc, at bakit ka naging doktor?
We do have inspirations naman when we make our dreams, no? So yan, ang naging eye-opener sa akin was really my father who got sick, no? As I was in high school then and had to be with him, no? Sinasamahan ko siya to go to his doctor. So na-inspire ako doon sa aming family physician, no? How he talks to us, how compassionate he is, no? How accommodating he is to us. Tapos despite na from a layman's perspective, you're worried about the illness, you're worried about the present situation, but the way he talks you out of it, how he tries to comfort you with all the reassurance that he's doing what he can to treat my father really amazed me, no? At the same time, siguro there was that part na you can see in them yung doctor, yung nakita ko sa kanya na he was really talagang very matulungin, no? Talagang passionate about his profession at the same time wanting to help. Really binibigay niya yung oras niya. He's not in a hurry to see us, to check on us, no? So na-inspire ako doon na sabi ko I really want to do the same thing na ginagawa niya. Of course, I was not aware, I was not conscious about the financial burden that it will cause, no? Yung finances na effect on the finances, no? Na mahal pala mag-medicine, no? Naisip ko lang, I want to become a doctor. So I just pursued it, nag-aral lang. But I was not really thinking about how will I get into studying medicine. But luckily, my siblings were very supportive of my dreams, no, of my aspirations. So my mom just asked them or just told them that as the youngest in the family, I want to become a doctor. And luckily, I have good siblings naman who supported me kahit na nag-start nga pa lang sila sa kanilang career. But they reassured my mom that they will help in sending me to medicine, medical school. So yun, in going into cardiology was really a little funny because initially my dad was sick of lung disease, so COPD siya eh. So I was thinking going to pulmonology, But then when I met Maricar, I met his dad. My dad passed away because of that. I was not yet a graduate of medical school, and I met Maricar, and I met his dad. This time, his dad has a heart ailment, So sabi ko, sige, just for me, I want to be there, of course, for her and for her family. So I said, I'll take on cardiology as my training, So yun, doon nag-start, Pero during the training din naman, I was amazed, Adrenaline was pumping, pagka nag-rotate ako sa cardiology rotations ko, In the cath lab, when there's cardiac arrest, everything is in a rush, adrenaline pace talaga. So, yun, medyo yun yung mga gusto ko rin naman. So, I was happy and I enjoy having my cardiology training.
Si Doktora. Tapos, paano kayo nag-meet?
Sige. Actually, ako naman came from a family of businessmen. So, lahat ng mga kapatid ko, they're into business. Actually, ako lang yung doctor sa family. Of course, si Orly, nadagdag na siya. Okay, so, with me naman, so I'm the eldest, and sabi ko nga, I'm the only doctor in the family. So, wala talagang idea, kasi lahat ng background ko from business, naka-idea how ano yung mga pre-med, ano yung mga difficulties na going into med school. Pero siguro, with prayers, perseverance, and support ng family, so nakatapos naman din. And then, going to pediatrics, actually, ever since bata pa ako, siguro talagang napakahilig ko sa bata. So, kasi ako yung eldest, both sides, mga cousins ko, pinamatatanda. So, parang ako yung nag-aalaga sa kanila, nakikipaglaro sa kanila. And then, up until now, sa clinic, pag medyo malalaki na mga patients, ayoko na tignan. Sabi ko, pag matakad na sa akin, kay Orly na bigay. Kasi gusto ko talaga malilig.
Okay.
Kahit malalaki, kahit mga 17, 18, maganda basta malalaki na, mataas pa sa akin, bigyan niyo na kay Orly, sino titingin doon.
Tapos, how'd you meet? Sa medical school? Med school? Saan kayo nag-meet?
Yes, sa med school.
We're classmates.
Okay.
In USD kasi usually alphabetical order yun. So
Banson, Bugarin.
Lagi niya
Seatmates.
kasi kinakalabit may assignment.
Okay.
Okay, parang study mates din kayo. So yun, what we want to ask you kasi is, why must, siguro sa inyong dalawa, for the kids also and for the adults, bakit kailangan natin mas maging conscious ngayon about heart health when people have this notion na the virus is really all about keeping ourselves stronger sa immune system at saka sa fitness siguro. But before you answer that, we'll pause for a break.
City, home to the country's first indoor shopping mall, the world's original Thrilla, and the first ever Beanie Beanie pageant. Now a place for your first win, your first catch, your first home, your first big break, your first date, and even your first love. Araneta City, the city of firsts.
And we're back. I'm Francine Marquez, and I'm with Pocholo Concepcion, and we're talking to our heart experts, Doctors Orlando and Maricar Bugarin.
Yes.
So, doctors, before we had our break, we were asking you, why must we put focus on our heart health, especially in the midst of a pandemic?
Yes, because yung ating heart health has been there. It has been a pandemic actually. It is the leading cause of mortality pa rin, with the data from the Department of Health, and even globally, we can still say that heart disease or mortality from cardiovascular disease, siya pa rin po yung number one. So talaga pong we really need to put attention on this. And now that we have this pandemic, the COVID, lalo pong tumaas yung morbidity and mortality with the COVID virus for those that have heart diseases. So talagang we need to keep ourselves healthy with all the lifestyle modifications that we can do sa bahay or even in our small community. Kasi talagang with trying to prevent all the cardiovascular diseases by simply doing exercises, healthy lifestyle, malaki po yung magagawa natin para sa pamilya, para sa ating sarili na we don't go through that burden. And at the same time, itong COVID virus infection, mas malilimit natin yung morbidity nito whenever it can hit us or we contract the infection. So with a good immune system, with a good heart, with the chances of recovery is much, much better.
What about you, Dr. Maricar? Kasi mga kids ngayon, nasa bahay lang, parang gadgets lang inaatupag nila. So, daming tumatabang bata.
Yes, that's our problem. So, syempre, nasa bahay lang. Actually, hindi sila aarawan.
Tama.
Hindi sila nakakalabas to form of any exercise. And then, marami rin ngayon ako mga patient mga nagba-back pain kasi lagi na sila nakaupo. So, nag-motion, nag-online class, so back pain, marami silang naramdaman mga sakit-sakit. And then also, even with kids and teenagers, we see depression, so mga anxiety. So, minsan, they get it from hearing people talking about yung mga death and mortality ng mga COVID patients, or sometimes they also experience it, through their family members, yung mga ganong situations. And also, marami ring nadidepress kasi they don't see their friends, they don't communicate well with their classmates, actually even their teachers, hindi nila, it's really difficult, especially now yung online class. Maraming mga drawbacks. Also, at least that's what we can do for now na during this pandemic para matuloy lang din yung kanilang learning and education. But the reality is marami talagang na didepress na mga bata, and we also see that in our clinics.
Can heart disease be reversed? Do you believe that? Because there's an American doctor who wrote a book, The End of Heart Disease, and he outlines steps that can be taken kahit na may heart condition, heart failure.
Pwede naman, yes, Sir Poch, it's at a certain stage, At a certain stage, we can reverse it or we can prevent it from the further deterioration. Sometimes the goal is to prevent it from happening. If ever it happens, you prevent it from progressing into a more severe case, And whenever it's in the severe case, really a palliative way of having less symptoms, good quality of life. So yun yung mga stages na rin ng paggagamot ng mga patients with heart diseases. To reverse it, maybe at a certain stage, yes, we can do that. Of course, yung mga risk factors, pwedeng yun ang sinasabi niya. Now, once we can reverse it, we can modify it, we prevent further progression ng heart diseases. Pero once na nandun tayo sa stage na talagang severe cases, medyo mahirap i-reverse. Yeah.
Okay.
So, pwede pa.
Pwede. O kasi, well, in my case, sabi ng doktor ko, meron daw calcium yung puso ko sa gilid. Parang, explanation niya is, like, imagine the Pasig River, sa gilid nun may mga basura. Parang gano'n. Sabi niya, hindi na raw matatanggal. Medyo na-depress ako. So,
sometimes yun, depende po, sir. Really, Sir Poch, the main thinking na siguro in this case na at our age, is really prevent it from further deterioration. deterioration.
Okay.
What we have, andyan na siya. If you're hypertensive, if you have that heart disease, you prevent it from further deterioration. So one is your lifestyle, two is your medications, your follow-up with your doctors, your exercise to prevent diet and exercise can really help maintain that heart in good status.
So, Doctor, ang importante siguro, we're still able to be productive despite the fact that we have a heart condition, no? Kasi some people think once they have a heart disease, parang it's death sentence na or something. Well, sorry to be morbid. Pero, so, may hope pa rin na maging productive pa rin yung lifestyle natin.
Fortunately, Ma'am Francine, no, we have new drugs. We have for patients with heart failure, yung mga hinihingal, yung madaling mapagod, that we saw good results, no, from giving this drug to having a better quality of life. No, nawawala yung kanilang hingal, nagkakaroon ng improvement in their quality of life as we them. So malaking bagay yon, malaking something good news for us, no, for our patients with heart failure or for patients nga po na with heart diseases, because really a lot of drugs are coming out to prevent the patients from deteriorating to having severe status po.
So, pwede pa rin ho magkaroon ng active lifestyle.
Yes.
From moderate
they
to
can
advanced.
still have guided by their physician, of course, guided by their physicians, by their cardiologists, no, and what kind of activity they can engage in. Kasi meron naman din, may mga ways of testing or trying to find out ano pa yung kaya nilang gawin. No? But basically, really to bring back a patient from just sitting down, from just walking around and having that shortness of breath to doing some activities na beyond that, no, malaking bagay na for us.
Doc Orly, you're the president of the Philippine Heart Association, right? Can you give us an idea what is your group up to these days? What it's doing and its programs, plans?
Yeah. Sir Poch, right now, the Philippine Heart Association is really into disseminating information, not just to our members, but to the community about how to take care of our heart. No? And right now with the COVID infection, we would like, and the vaccination, we are doing some guidelines, position statements or guidelines for our colleagues, our primary physicians, on how to answer or how to react to some of the effects of this vaccine. Like for example, ngayon, maraming hindi nababakunahan kasi mataas ang kanilang blood pressure, tumataas. So we're trying to come out with guidelines that they can still be vaccinated. We'd like to give some information, some knowledge on that it's not an absolute contraindication. So we're trying to do this for our colleagues, not just the cardiologists, but for our colleague physicians who will be manning the vaccination area later on as we roll out the vaccination in the community. Kasi the goal is really to vaccinate everyone. Hopefully everyone will be encouraged or will decide to be vaccinated, because we really want to fight this COVID infection. So with the cardiovascular diseases that the patients or the people might have, meron silang hesitancy, or meron silang fear na magpa-vaccinate. So we're trying to come out with all the information dissemination on not really being worried or having that fear to have the vaccine despite having the heart illness. So yun yung pinag-aaralan namin, and we're discussing this, and we can come up with data that will support it so that we can disseminate the information to not just to the community, but most especially to our doctor colleagues who will be there to answer all these questions, who will be answering to their patients. So that's one thing that we're trying to work on. But basically, from the time I started, it's really PHA doing the advocacies on how to take care of our heart. Because talaga yung heart diseases, kahit wala pa pong COVID, it's already a pandemic it's already a pandemic. So we really have to address this cardiovascular disease. We try to reduce the burden of cardiovascular disease in the country.
Kailan ho yung when will you release the findings, results, guidelines? And meron bang website where patients or those families with patients can read or look up to?
Yes, Ma'am Francine. Well, we're coming out with a joint statement with the Philippine Society of Hypertension kasi meron po yung organization na gano'n. So magkakaroon ng joint. But the PHA also will address the other heart diseases. No? So ilalabas po natin to. We'll be sending this to DOH. We'll be needing the help of the government to disseminate this to our colleagues, our colleagues in the government, government physicians, no, who will be manning the vaccination area. So ilalabas po namin yan at the same time at our website and the different social media platforms. We will disseminate this, and of course through all the other societies, we will send them copies of these guidelines or these position statements.
Can hypertension be reversed? Aside from heart disease.
Yeah, it can be controlled, no? But once you're hypertensive
For life?
You tend to be hypertensive for life. Yeah, but there are patients, no. There are patients. Ang situation is they're not really hypertensive, but they have situations that make their blood pressure elevate, no? So kung wala yung mga situations na yon, then nagno-normalize yung blood pressure nila. Or they have the risk factors na pag na-modify, nagiging normal or bumabalik yung kanilang blood pressure. But one precaution there is pag na-start ka ng medications for blood pressure, the doctors will have to tailor your maintenance medication as to that every time you follow up or you have your regular checkup. Pwede niyang bawasan, pwede pa niyang tanggalin yung medications mo as long as you adhere to those lifestyle modifications that will really control your blood pressure. Siyempre, pag tinanggal mo yung gamot and yet, sasabihin kasi, ang tendency natin, pag bumaba yung BP, ang thinking natin is, normal na yung blood pressure ko, so pwede ko na ihinto yung gamot. Pero, we don't control our lifestyle. So, kain ka ulit, yung diet mo, sedentary yung lifestyle, so babalik yun. No? Na-control yung BP mo because of the medication. Pag tinanggal mo, babalik ulit. So, me as a cardiologist, personally, I can take off the medicine of my hypertensive patient if he will be compliant to the lifestyle modifications na i-advise natin sa kanya.
Wow, good news. I should consult you.
Oo nga.
Francine.
Yeah, but let's go back to how you met each other. Sabi nila kasi, di ba, may kasabihan yung, is there a doctor in the house? Pero what is it like na may two doctors in the house? How do you still talk about medical concerns?
Do you talk in scientific terms?
Oo nga eh. So yun.
Basically,
go
ahead.
Yeah, yun nga, how do you keep it together? Kasi dalawang doktor sa bahay, di ba?
Basically, sabi nga namin, we try to avoid din yung mga, kasi stressful in the work already. So we tend to avoid discussing them. But sometimes it helps, no? When you have a difficult case, even if pediatrician siya, or for example, difficult relative, encounter mo difficult cases, no? Sometimes it helps para na I can discuss it with her and she can understand me, na intindihan niya yung spectrum na pinag-uusapan namin, no? So it really helps then. But most of the time we really tend to avoid discussing our cases in the house. Pagdating sa bahay po talaga, we tend to look at sa mga kids na, but hindi rin namin maiwasan yung mga ibang activities namin. No, we have different activities other than being a doctor. So,
yes.
yun ang mga nagiging unwind namin, no? Having our friends and having other activities, having other community to be involved with, no? So, meron mga couples for Christ, we have our rosary group. May mga ganun po na nagiging diversion din po ng aming attention other than our medical practice. But being two doctors in the house, malaking bagay kasi hindi ako natatakot pag nagkakasakit yung aking mga anak.
Oo nga. Libre na. Oo.
Libre na.
Pag tumataas ang blood pressure ng parents niya, hindi siya nag-worry. Something like that na at least we are so we can answer both pediatric and adult cases, ma-address namin kahit paano. So that really is one advantage that we have.
What other advice can you give?
Add to that,
Okay, sorry, Doc. Okay. Sige, Doc. Tutora.
actually, yung mga kids namin, they're 14. And we're fond of watching mga Netflix. Right now, what we're watching is the Grey's Anatomy. So, di ba, parang hospital setting siya.
Oh, yeah.
So, the funny thing is, kahit minsan pag na-mention na nakapag-usap lang kami about one case na parang may na-mention kami medical terms, magbabatiin sila, oh ma'am, that's like ganito, di ba? That's like this one, oh, parang they can also understand. So what's good din kasi, one of our twin, kasi we have twin boys, no? So siya talaga decided na siya mag-medicine, no? So isa medyo marami pa siyang so parang it helps kasi parang nakaka-relate na rin siya sa amin, parang gano'n. So, parang nakakatuwa kasi minsan yung conversation namin, kahit na about hospital, about patients, nakaka-join din sila. So, yun. And then, totoo nga yan, pag sinasabi ng dad ko na tumatawag siya, Maricar, yung BP ko ganito, may masakit sa akin ganito. So, kampante ako kasi si Orly will be answerable to that.
Okay.
And then, alam ko kasi, we saw your Instagram feed. Ang hilig nyo mag-travel. So, I suppose those are one of the things that you also enjoy aside from meron kayong mga biking dates. Trail bikers, mga physically fit itong mga doctors natin. Can you tell us more about your leisure hobbies, yung mga what you do as a family?
The family is really fun of traveling around. No? Siguro, that's one way kasi to really to distress. Kasi pag tendency po when you're a doctor and you are just here, you cannot, hindi mo ma-avoid na tatawagan ka, you have the patient, you have your calls. So once you're just here, parang hindi mo kayang talikuran yung responsibility mo to really see that patient, to attend to that patient. No? So I think for most of the doctors naman, one way of relaxation for them is really to move away from the area of work, no, and really to see other places. So yun yung luckily the family is really fond of doing that. So yun yung medyo namin ngayon with all the restrictions, we cannot do that, no. But pero ngayon one thing na natutuwa kami, we have this yung with our group of friends, yung biking nga po, kahit at this age, no, luckily even at this age we can still do that. We can do biking sa mga trails, no, and talagang nakaka-relax po yung aming activity na yon, and getting to have time with our friends na rin.
Yeah, Doktora, kasi sabi niyo kanina one of your sons wants to be a doctor, yung isa maybe still thinking, how would you describe your style as parents? Are you the strict kind, or are you the cheerleading or relaxed, chill lang na parents? How would you describe yourselves as parents?
Of course, kung ano yung paano we were raised by our parents, of course, hindi na ginagawa namin sa mga anak namin. So, may mga values na instill na sa amin. So, we're also doing that, no? So, yung mga traditions, we want them to be closer to the Lord, yung mga ganong activities. Pero for the most part, hindi na kami yung namamalo whenever we do that. We just talk with them. Kasi mga bata ng ibang approach hindi na kamukha ng mga bata. Before, ng bata kami na talagang medyo iba yung pagpalaki. Ngayon, we have to talk to them, we have to explain to them why not. Of course, we want to be not too protective of them, pero we want them to learn also through experiences. So, hinahayaan namin sila to explore the world, yung ganon. So, hindi kami masyado on the medyo overprotective side. Si Orly medyo chill lang talaga to.
Okay. Okay. Meron pa ba kayong maibibigay na advice aside from the 3 protocols for health and safety as far as COVID-19 is concerned? But before you answer, let's take another short break.
Montero Sport. Elevate your journey.
Drive your ambition. Mitsubishi Motors.
Ang Philippine Offshore Gaming Operators o POGO ay isang legitimate business entity na nagbibigay serbisyo sa offshore gaming para lamang sa mga manlalarong nasa abroad sa pamamagitan ng internet. Ang mga serbisyong handog nito ay katulad ng casino games at sports betting na pwedeng laruin kahit wala sa casino. Sa Pilipinas, walang POGO operators. Tanging POGO service providers lamang dahil nagaganap ang mga laro sa labas ng bansa.
Hello, and we're back. The second half of our interview and very informative chat with Doctors Orly and Maricar Bugarin. Before we had our
doctor
break.
couple.
Yes.
Before we took a break, I was asking, ano po yung additional advice na mabibigay nyo sa viewers natin? Aside from the protocols of hand washing, ano po ba yun?
Social distancing.
Social distancing and the wearing of masks and face shields.
Siguro one thing we want to bring to the consciousness of our kababayans, no, is really the consciousness na yes, we have the fear of the COVID, so adhering to the different protocols, we should do that. But again, don't undermine din po yung ating mga existing illnesses. That we really have to go to see our doctors, to check on our doctors, take your medications, your maintenance medications, because we're not just seeing patients who have COVID, but also we're seeing an increase in patients who have comorbidities or having other illnesses. No? So yung mortality natin nagdodoble because napapabayaan natin yung other aspect ng ating health. So the advice I really want to encourage one of our yung sa advocacies natin to really take care of your heart. We have the different advocacies, no, to share with regarding lifestyle modifications, no, that can really be important, no, or can really be helpful to our friends, our relatives, or our colleagues, no. So yun po yung ano natin. And right now, I think one thing that we want to encourage kaming pareho is really to have our vaccines, no? Magpapakuna po tayo. We really want to encourage everyone to have their vaccines because it is really through this that we can counter the COVID virus, or we can overcome this pandemic.
You said that heart disease is the #1 killer in the country, no? Ilan po ang namamatay sa heart disease annually?
Ang numbers natin, ang ano pa rin is we don't have the exact figures, no, but in the DOH lang na listing is that still it's the #1 leading cause of death even up to the present, no, followed by I think pulmonary or stroke, no. So okay. We really are very conscious about that report of the Department of Health, no, and even as we see them in the clinics, no. So ang dami pa rin nating nakikitang patients or even in the hospitals who succumb to cardiovascular illness other than compared to the other diseases.
Doctora,
Yes,
does being happy contribute to the healthy heart? Yung pagiging masaya. Kasi di ba may namamatay sa heartbreak? Totoo ba yun?
Sa totoo lang.
Be happy. Ngayon, no? So very depressing talaga wherever you look talagang. Actually, buti nga ngayon, marami na mga bukas. No, talagang total lockdown. I think that was last year, same time last year. Ito yung day na nag-close kami talaga ng clinic. Ito nag-lockdown yung Bataan this day. So we're celebrating ito ng 1 year. Talagang during that time, talagang when we go out to see patient, talagang yung fear, yung anxiety, it's there, walang tao sa daan. So it helps talaga na medyo magandang disposition mo, yung medyo you look at the other side, the bright side, no? So mahirap talaga maging happy pag ang situation ganito. But I think we have to find we look ano yung mga blessings natin sa buhay, ano yung what will make us happy. Actually, itong pandemic na to, marami tayong realization that money will not make us happy. Yung good health, the family, yung mga tao na nakapaligid sa atin, as long as they're healthy, we're together, it makes us happy. So, yun ang medyo realization namin itong nangyari sa atin starting last year.
Wow, napaka-inspiring naman, Doktora. Kasi kanina I want to ask a follow-up questions. Yung follow-up question tungkol dun sa mga, sabi nyo maraming mga batang nade-depress ngayon. What would you advise parents who have kids like that? Ano bang, what can they do, yung mga practical things they can do also, as well as medically probably?
Yung depression kasi sa mga kids, hindi siya nangyayari overnight. So, it's a series of events talaga. So, something happened along the way sa kanilang buhay that makes the patient or the kid sad or depressed, no? So, talagang usually, doon nag-play yung mga dynamics ng family, ano yung mga kailangan i-correct, ano kailangan i-attention. Of course, yung mga batang depressed, usually, they really lack attention eh. So, they lack attention, they don't feel love. So siguro yun yung mga kailangang i-improve ng family. Of course, marami na rin ngayon mga professional doctor. We have doctors who can help them professionally. So we also refer patients. Sometimes in our level, hindi magawa eh. Kasi may mga doctors talaga who are very, very yung mga psychiatry, psychologists. So, we usually refer, especially now, maraming mga bata na we refer, and then when we refer, dapat yung support ng family is really there.
So, meron nung connection din yung pediatrician with the psychiatrist. Parang may ganun din ba yun? Does it relate to that? Or is just a referral that we do?
Usually, yes, referral. May mga child psychiatrists. We have doctors talaga na see children, and we encourage them na when they do consult to those doctors, dapat kasama yung mga primary person who takes care of them, like that. Sometimes the lola, madalas kasi minsan wala yung parents, they're not here, they're abroad, the lolas or whoever's in charge of taking care or reading the patient.
So yung physical symptoms minsan is just symptomatic of their emotional and mental health, no? Yun po ba
Yes, we see a lot of they have abdominal pain, yung mga epigastric pain, headache, so chest pain. So when we examine or when we work them out, wala organic cause. So that's the time we think, baka this something na psychosomatic or signs of parang mga attention-seeking disorder or behavior. So we talk to them, and then if it's beyond our capacity, then we refer.
So it's okay to, kasi may stigma sa atin eh, parang bakit ko i-refer yung anak ko sa child psychiatrist, di ba? So, pero you're a doctor telling us it's okay to be referred to, siguro, to make our kids see a child psychiatrist.
Before talaga meron, pero right now, kasi yung awareness kasi ng mga tao din. And then, there are also parents who really admit to themselves that they need professional help. So that's one good thing. Before kasi lahat in denial, or sometimes they will take it negatively. But right now we're seeing more parents who are very, very open, and they really admit that they need help. So it's a very big thing for the child. Kasi ang mag-benefit doon is the child.
So you mean po yung referral ng both yung bata, yung nangangailangan ng therapy in this, yun po sinasabi niyo.
I think both.
Yeah, both, no? Kasi minsan yung parents then is going through depression. So, yeah, I think it's the reality of the pandemic right now, ano? Because of the situation, parang we thought the pandemic is about to end, pero
we're back to square one.
we're back to where we once belonged. Parang ganon.
Do we have time for one more question?
Sige, one question, tas meron lang tayong konting ano.
Do we need more doctors? Does the country need more doctors?
I'm sorry?
Kailangan po ba ng Pilipinas ng ng additional doctors? Are we experiencing a shortage because of people?
Definitely. Yes.
Definitely, we're having brain drains. No? Let's say medical profession, the nurses, the techs, the pharmacies, and even doctors. For the doctors, yes, we need more. We need more specialists. We need even primary physicians. We still have a lot of areas that don't even have their primary physicians. No, so tendency. Hindi nga makapaniwala na nandun pa rin yung mga naniniwala sa albularyo, nandun pa rin yung alternative medicines other than consulting the physicians. No? So yes, we definitely need more doctors, specialists, no? Lalo ng mga specialists. We need them. Sana, sa ngayon kasi, siguro makikita natin that they're concentrated in the metropolis, no, in Manila. We're just hoping that dahan-dahan mag-decongest or they spread out and move to the countryside, no, to serve our countrymen outside of Manila. And so hopefully that's one thing that we can do for our people. For the nurses, definitely a lot of hospitals are not fully functional or operational because talagang malaki yung brain drain. Kahit ngayong pandemic, lalong maganda yung kanilang mga offers to serve or to mag-migrate talaga, no, sa ibang bansa to outside of the country.
Francine.
Oo.
Thank you.
Doctors, we got some photos. Sorry, we trolled you on your Instagram. So meron na kaming mga pictures na gustong ipakita sa inyo. Then maybe you can tell us a little bit of story about it. So our first photo, if you don't mind.
This one is my first time to wear the PPE. No, I have to do a procedure on a COVID patient or COVID suspect patient sa hazmat. And ang ano ko dito was really the burden or the suffering ng ating mga frontliners as they attend to their patients. No, yung init nung PPE that you remove it right away. You need to have a nature call. No? So nandun talaga pala yun. I just have to wear it for around 30 minutes to 1 hour. What more yung mga colleagues natin na nasa ER, naka-duty talaga for 24 hours have to wear this. No? So medyo it's really very difficult. But then nakayanan, nasanay din tayo and malaking bagay for us that we learned. Dati, marami tayong cases, maraming doctors ang namatay because yung knowledge natin about how to protect ourselves, no, from this virus. But eventually, we learned how to do it properly and how to do it well. So at least nabawasan na yung mga mortality natin among our frontliners.
Wow, that's a good story. Second photo. Ito.
Are those the twins?
Yeah, akala mo mirror image. Doktora.
As much as possible, we try to shy them away from the gadgets. So, yeah, may mga times naman na they play together, ganyan. That's chess eh. They're playing chess.
We're giving alternatives other than the gadgets. There was a time talaga kasi that na-hook up na sila, ang hirap tawagin to eat dinner or lunch, no? Sabi namin, we have to find a way to get them away, take them away from the gadgets. So luckily, natuwa sila when playing this chess naman, board games, no? But we really have to find ways then to join them. Ang hirap sabihin mo, oh, don't do that, don't do this. Pero mas happy sila kung kasama kami, no? When we play with them. So yung nakita naming difference. Mahirap sabihan mo lang na, oh, it's not good to play the gadgets all the time. Then you offer them this, but you're not joining them, no? So mas na-encourage sila kung if you're there, so nakikipagpalit ka, kung si winner, loser, no? So makikipag-join ka sa game.
Galing. Galing, no? Yeah, so next photo. Yun.
Actually, ano yan eh, Valentine's Day 2 years ago. Ano yun eh, nag-clinic ako and then nagmamadali ako, sabi ko sa sa secretary ko, last patient na, last patient. And then sabi niya, ay doktora, may humabol po isang patient. Sabi ko, meron pa ba? O sige, pagpasukin mo na. Kasi alis na ako. And then, yun, si Orly pa rin last patient. Ayan, mga kakusyaba niya yung driver, yung dalawang secretary namin. So, yun. Happy na.
Galing ng surprise. Kakatuwa.
Nice.
Yes. So,
Are there more photos? Meron
next
pa ba?
photo, Ito. Pakikwento naman, Doc. Ano ba yung nakalagay sa t-shirt? May nakalagay sa t-shirt na maganda eh.
The
Family that
family.
travels together, stays together. No, ang kwento niyan, I think that was 2 years ago. That's in the US. Oo. Yung buong family namin, side ng family ko, we traveled abroad to the US. So I think we're 18, with including the mga small pamangkins, no? So, sobrang saya kasi parang sabay-sabay kami lahat. And then when we travel, may mga ano kami, mga color coding na mga t-shirt, may mga pare-pareho kay mga t-shirt. That one was given to us by my sister-in-law, who's also a doctor, dermatology. So, binubay niya kami lahat ng shirt, pare-pareho kaming ganyan. So, yun. We sit it up to travel at least once a year, yung buong family ng parents ko. So, parang look forward namin every year when magbabanding kami, yung mga cousins, they are there together. And it's a really nice experience and a way to talagang maging close.
Nakakamiss din ang travel, no? Iba rin kasi pag nag-travel talaga kayo as a family, you have shared experiences na you'll really treasure forever together. Yeah. So, next photo. Second to the
I turned into a plantita during this pandemic. So yan, before wala akong hilig sa plants. So yan, yung mom ko, siya talaga yung mahilig sa halaman. And then, nung nag-lockdown, yung mom ng patient ko, binigyan niya lang ako ng parang ilang pieces ng cactus and I started from there. So yan, parang yan, bigay niya sa akin yan, even yung base na yan, yung pot na yan. So natuwa lang ako. Parang yun din ako nag-start na aking journey to be a plantita.
Wow. Uy, maganda rin yun. Diba? Iba yung nadadalang kaligayahan ng mga halaman. At may makakausap kayong green. Yeah. So our last photo, ayun.
Yeah.
CPR.
This is our advocacy, no? Our main one of our main advocacy in the Philippine Heart Association, to have our CPR ready. So before the pandemic, we were really going around the country. We actually, I'm not going around, but we have all our chapters being very active in promoting the training of CPR among the lay, no? So hindi lang siya pang doctors or pang nurses. No, we're trying to teach everyone to learn CPR kasi we really believe na if we are ready or we know the skills, we can save a life. And yung pinaka-tagline nga namin dyan is, who knows, baka ang next na mangailangan ng CPR will be a loved one and you are the only one available or ready to give a hand. So ito, gusto namin lahat ng mga Pilipino matutong gumawa ng CPR. And at the same time, yung availability ng public accessible defibrillator, no? These are advocacies na naniniwala po kasi kami na we can really save lives, no? If we teach not just the doctors or nurses but everyone.
Is it easy to learn the CPR, Doc?
Yes, it's very easy to learn CPR. Ngayon hindi na kasi niya kailangan ng mouth to mouth. All you need to do is hands only CPR.
Okay.
Ang ano doon is it's better than no CPR at all. So you just need your two hands, no? Cross them together, straight elbows, put them at the middle of your the chest of someone who had an arrest, no? Then just pump. You buy time, no, until help arrives. So
okay.
Or sometimes nakaka-revive tayo ng ating mga kababayan. And very fortunate, or I'm very happy kasi ang dami po namin may mga naturuan na po kami na will text me, will message me na, Doc, buti na lang naturuan nyo kami because you were able to save this person or that person. So, malaking bagay po.
I think we should publish that in the papers.
Saan po bang sa website niyo may makikita kaming how to go about it?
Yes, Ma'am Francine, we have it at actually ang main page ng website, yung feature niya is the CPR. No, but we have the modules there. We can avail of the modules. And if there are groups na kahit noon before the pandemic, we are doing a lot of trainings na they're approaching us group by group or company by companies na nag-approach to train them. So this is one major advocacy of the Philippine Heart Association, teaching CPR.
All right.
Meron po sa website.
Sige, we will do that.
Oo.
Yeah.
Ang dami pa natin gusto itanong kina Dr. Orly and Dr. Maricar.
Yeah, but doctors, parting words po.
Oo.
Ladies
Ladies first.
So for all the viewers, so please stay safe. So avoid mo natin yung mga gatherings. So COVID vaccine is still here. Nandito pa siya, hindi pa siya umaalis. He's still around. So siguro yung mga family clustering, as much as possible, we avoid muna. And number one, advocacy namin is to get the vaccine. So marami po hesitations, marami natatakot, but it's one of the best tool to fight off this pandemic.
For me, yes, I would like to thank, of course, Ma'am Francine, Ma'am Poch, Sir Poch, for giving us this time, to being invited in your program, and of course, lahat ng ating mga katribo. We'd like to thank you for having us here. Definitely, our health is very important. Ngayon, we realize with this pandemic that our heart health matters. We really need to take care of ourselves. We have to protect ourselves. The virus is there. The COVID virus is there, but also let us not forget the other illnesses that might be present among our loved ones. Now, we really have to take care of each other. We really have to protect each other and keep safe pa rin and keep ourselves healthy.
All right.
Oo. Yung mga advice na yan, good health, keeping fit, and staying positive siguro. Take it to heart.
Yes.
That's what we learned today from our two doctors.
Orly and Maricar Bugarin,
Yes.
doctors in the house.
Yes. So,
All right.
thanks, Poch,
Thank you.
for making it. Thank you, doctors.
Salamat
See you
po.
again. Sana may susunod pa.
All right.
Yeah.
This has been Poch Concepcion.
And this has been Francine Marquez, and this has been PairFect.